Good afternoon. We are live here in Highland Park with our good friends at the Michigan Chronicle, Jeremy Allen. It has been a great day of reporting and storytelling. I think for a reporter, we love doing this kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely. It's always so exciting, especially just being live out in the field, being able to talk to residents and folks who are excited not just to see us, but, to have their stories told.
Yeah. Now, when we first started brainstorming, we said, okay, there's obviously some important issues to talk about in Highland Park, but there's lots of things to celebrate. And you were telling me, because I was not aware of all the great things that have been going on this side of town. About 10 minutes from Avalon, we're on Pitkin Street.
Right here on Pitkin, it's home to the Ernest T. Ford Recreation Center, where for more than 50 years, Reggie McKenzie, famed Highland Parker, all-pro NFL player, University of Michigan alumni, College Football Hall of Famer. I mean, the list of accolades goes on and on, but Reggie McKenzie has been holding this summer camp for kids, girls and boys, for quite a while. And so many kids, so many of the youth, not just from the city of Detroit, but from all over, have come through this camp.
I think they said, like nearly 50,000?
50,000 in the 51-year history of it, through not just the football camp, but the academic side of it, and the basketball camp, and the after-school homework clubs. And this is, like I said, it's been a community staple for 5 decades now, and it's a great story to tell about the city of Highland Park.
I know you spent some time, so let's take a look.
Reggie McKenzie spent 13 years dominating in the NFL as an offensive lineman for the Buffalo Bills and the Seattle Seahawks. But it was really Highland Park who helped raise him. After his time in the NFL, Reggie decided that he wanted to come back home and give back to his hometown community. And that's when he started the Reggie McKenzie Foundation. For over 50 years, the Reggie McKenzie Foundation has been mentoring and teaching youth through football. But it's not just on the football field that he makes a difference. There's after-school programs, there's homework tutoring, there's counseling, there's job prep for teenagers. All that happens right here behind me and throughout the rest of this beautiful community, where he's poured his heart and his soul and everything that he learned on the football field back into the community of Highland Park.
Today we are in a place called Ernest T. Ford Recreation Center, formerly known as Hackett Rec Center. And this is where we house all the Reggie McKenzie athletic summer camps. This place is important for the kids to be nurtured and be able to grow and be upstanding citizens.
I would come up here every Sunday, every summer from ages 9 to 18. And then after that, I started participating as a coach, and then as well helping, grow the deal. But one thing about Reggie McKenzie, man, he was my hero. He was somebody that, as a kid, you just didn't know who he was. He was just a big guy, But every year when I saw Reggie McKenzie, he would ask me, how you doing in school? How you doing in football? How you doing with your family? And I haven't given him an answer. So what that did for me was every year when I came back to this camp, I had to make sure that I did the right thing, because he's gonna check me. One thing about Reggie, man, we had the inside the lines, where we got the football and the drills and the skills. But one thing he used to do after every session of the camp, it'd have a keep it real. So it allowed one of the NFL guys to talk about, overcoming adversity outside of football, telling their stories about growing up as in the single parent home, how to keep your grades up, and what if football don't be your outlet? What are you gonna do? And that's hard to instill that in a kid that think NFL. But what he did was made enough time afterward to say, let's keep it real. There's only maybe 1 or 2 of y'all might make it. So if y'all don't, how can y'all take these tools that we're teaching you here to apply them in your life so you can be successful in something else? So that's something that I carry, and then with these kids that we have now, is trying to put that into them early. So they already have something in the back of their mind is, what can I fall back on?
Reggie McKenzie is more than a uncle, I would say, more than a football coach, more than a community leader. He's a legend.
It's easy to see why you can't go anywhere in Highland Park and mention the name Reggie McKenzie without people lighting up and having smiles all over their faces. It's easy to see the impact that he's made with all the students that he's mentored and coached over the years. And it's easy to see why programs like the Reggie McKenzie Foundation continue to make Highland Park such a great city. We're back live. You've got Jerome Bettis here, Charles Woodson here, just a few of the Hall of Fame NFL players who have come through the Reggie McKenzie Foundation camp. And we're standing here now live with Reggie McKenzie himself. How you feeling today, Reggie?
Hey, I woke up this morning. It's a great day. It's a great day. I'm feeling great. 51 years of Reggie McKenzie All-Pro Football Clinic. And that's just a few of the guys that helped come and make this thing what it is turned out to be over the 51 years. I've had Buffalo Bills here. I've had Seattle Seahawks. I've had a lot of guys from the National Football League come here and put back into the community from which Reggie is a product of.
I just wanted to ask real quick, you don't have to do things like this, clearly. I mean, this obviously is something that you are moved to do and have really changed lives. What was your motivation and what did you get out of it as you see the effects that you've had on so many people?
You know, somebody helped me. And nobody gets to where they are today without somebody reaching out and giving them a helping hand. And so when I got to the University of Michigan and played football, you know, I told Bo, I said, you know, I'm going to go back and I'm going to put back into the community for which I'm a product of, because somebody helped me. And so 51 years later, here we are still going after it.
Reggie, you've been doing this, like you said, 51 years. So many students and so many people who I've talked to in the community have talked about you as their personal hero. How do you feel about that sort of having built that sort of legacy here in your hometown of Highland Park?
Well, you know, you set the tempo, and and I use a lot of football metaphors, but you set the tempo, and you say, hey, this is how it's supposed to be done for the next guy coming along, and it was my nephew, and it was other guys that who I played with who said, hey man, I'll come out and help you out, you know, because somebody helped me. And that's how we got this thing started, and it kept going.
Speaking of your nephew, we're here with Kyle McKenzie right now, your nephew, who has taken over and is now leading the Reggie McKenzie Foundation. He made sure to usher in the 50-year anniversary in the right way, and when I talked to him the other day, he said he's going to make sure it goes another 50 years. I want to just turn the focus over to Kyle here for just a second. Kyle, how have you been able to learn, not just learn from your uncle, but also implement, you know, what you've learned in the camp and pass it down to the next generation of Reggie McKenzie students?
Well, everything I learned from the camp, I put in everything I do. I do it in my coaching, I do it in my life. I always tell everybody that what I'm doing, you have to have character. And that's one of our biggest things that we do in the Reggie McKenzie Foundation is have a commitment to character award. So all our camps, everybody has a commitment to character award. And you know, you just got to have character when you're out here. You got to be able to have integrity. You got to be able to be a great citizen out here. So with everything that was taught with me, with the Reggie McKenzie Foundation, I just try to pay it forward and tell all the students that I'm a part of it, and that anything that you do out here in life, make sure you do it with class and character.
I like what you say about character, and I think it goes two levels, obviously, with the athlete, but I feel like Highland Park has character. And I think that's part of our mission today, is kind of showing what makes Highland Park so special for you. Why was it important to make sure that you continue on this legacy?
Well, this legacy has to continue on because there's still a lot of kids out here and also adults out here that needs the Reggie McKenzie Foundation. They provide resources, provide opportunities for them to be able to see and grow themselves. So as long as I see kids out here playing, and as long as I see kids need academics and all type after school programming, we will be here. I told my uncle 50 years, you know, last year 50 years, we're going to do another 50. So, and
I want to give a shout out too, because you see the poster and you see a lot of gentlemen here, but you know, you're doing stuff for young women too in terms of sports, and I think that deserves a shout out for sure.
Yes, let's shout out all the women in sports and shout out this all women period. In 1991 we had our first women's basketball clinic, and it became a great success, and that's what happened. I remember the story that my uncle was telling me, that the women was asking, like, you don't have nothing for us. And so, with the help of our executive director, Eleanor Blackwell, her son, my cousin Glenn Blackwell, he said we need to do something for the women. And so, the first camp was the basketball camp was for the women, and then we incorporated the men. So,
like that.
Yeah.
I want to bring it back to Reggie here for a second. Reggie, in all the 51 years that you've been doing this camp, talk about a couple of your greatest memories.
Well, just the guys that I played with at Michigan, Glenn Dowdy, Mike Taylor. I'd even had OJ here. A lot of guys, Tom Darden, Billy Taylor, a lot of guys that come in and stood before these young people said, you know, what McKenzie is doing, it makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. And I call this city the capital of Detroit.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
And you do it for the capital of Detroit. And a lot of the great people who've come through here. Bobby Joe Hill, I mean.
I saw Barry Sanders. You had a photo with Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders, a lot of great Lions. Lomas Brown.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of great football players who I played against and played in some cases with came out to help me. And to be a part of this and make it the success that it has been.
And I think it's so wonderful, too, just because, you know, again, people might not see you and remember the Hall of Fame and legendary athlete that you were, but you're able to impart all that wisdom back into the youth here in the city of Highland Park.
Well, and then at the same time, you know, somebody helped all of us. Nobody got here by themselves, and it's a good thing to do. And it's something that we're supposed to do.
We are supposed to. I got to ask you, if we're talking football, what are we thinking about the Lions? What do you think? How are they going to shape up this fall?
You know, I like what the Lions are doing. I think they're going to be fine. I really like the quarterback. I think he's going to be good. And that offensive, defensive line, that's where everything starts, is up front. And I think they're going to be okay.
What would be your words of wisdom for the Lions as they start the season?
Well, just go knock hell out of them and hit them in the nose every time.
As an offensive lineman, I wouldn't expect anything less from you.
You've got a good smile.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Do we end that way?
I think so. I think that's a great
Well,
way.
yeah, you know, the Lions, they got a good team.
They do.
And then all they got to do is just be consistent, you know, game in, game out, and win your home games. That's the key.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate just you sharing your stories and really reminding all the things that you have done.
Let me just say this. Channel 4 probably was one of the first entities, TV, media, who came out to capture us years and years and years ago. And I want to thank you guys. Because if it hadn't been for you, in terms of people knowing about what we're doing, and putting back, maybe it wouldn't have got done, but you were the first.
We appreciate the shout out. I know you were saying before, you were giving Bernie a shout out, and he appreciates that too, because I know he has a love for what you have done here.
Well, Bernie is a great guy, and he put in many, many years, and he helped us, and all those guys over in the sports department, and want to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
What a wonderful story.
Yeah. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up here for this part of our coverage. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. We have much more on our 24 hours in Highland Park. We're going to head on back to Avalon Village. We're going to go inside the homework house. We've got some tutors set up who are helping some local kids. 5 o'clock, we're talking to the mayor.
Mayor.
Yeah,
that's
so we've got some
story.
issues and you know, some really great things to talk about, and then later on tonight we're talking development.
Yeah, we're talking development, one of the catalysts for really revitalizing the community, and with some small industrial, but not just through the small industrial, also through residential as well.
All right, so we got much more ahead on our 24 hours in Highland Park. Stay tuned. Meantime, we are streaming all of those live cameras. You can check out and see what's going on in Avalon Village. Check on clickondetroit.com. We've got all these stories that we've produced with links and information if you want to get background and all that other kind of good stuff. Until then, we'll send it back to, I guess, all those live streaming cameras. Thanks for watching.